The Caribbean sun beat down unrelentingly on the white sand beaches of Barbados. The rays glinted off the cresting waves as they crashed onto the shore, a cool breeze rustling through the groves of palm trees. Under the swaying fronds, locals and tourists alike sought refuge in the shade. But Jamil was oblivious to the natural beauty around him. Lost in thought, he sat on the hot sand, grains sticking to his damp skin. All he could focus on was the sinking feeling in his gut that told him something was very wrong with Aisha. Jamil and Aisha's relationship had started out like a tropical paradise. Long walks on pristine beaches, intimate dinners under the stars, and weekends sailing around Barbados, just the two of them. When they first met, Aisha had been vacationing from England. Her beauty and free-spirited nature enchanted Jamil, and she soon decided to move to the island to be with him. The first 2 years felt like a dream. But little by little, cracks started to form. Looking back, Jamil realized he had ignored some troubling signs early on. Aisha hated when he questioned where she was going or who she was talking to. She'd disappear for hours without explanation, and she flirted shamelessly with other men in front of him. Whenever he brought up these issues, Aisha would cry and convince him nothing was wrong. She'd shower him with affection until he dropped the matter. Over time, the red flags only got worse. Aisha started going out to bars multiple times a week, often not coming home until the next morning. Her temper also grew volatile. She'd lash out over small disagreements. Jamil tried to convince himself this was just her free-spirited nature, but in his gut he sensed she was hiding something. His worst fears were confirmed the night she stumbled in reeking of alcohol and another man's cologne. Jamil grabbed Aisha's arm roughly as she stumbled in the door. "Let go of me, you pathetic waste of space," Aisha yelled, trying to wrench her arm free. "Not until you admit you're sleeping around, you lying cheat," Jamil shouted back. Aisha laughed cruelly. "The only reason I'm with a loser like you is because you were an easy catch. But now I've got a real man satisfying me." Jamil saw red, consumed by rage at her venomous words. He backhanded her hard across the face. Aisha recoiled, then lunged at Jamil, clawing his face. "I wish I'd never met you, you ugly brute," she screamed. Jamil lost control. He tackled Aisha to the ground, pummeling her face with powerful blows. She tried to fight back, but Jamil was in a frenzy. He grabbed a heavy glass vase from the coffee table and smashed it onto Aisha's head. Blood and gore splattered across the tile. But Jamil kept smashing the vase onto her mangled face, shards of glass embedding into his hands. When Aisha's wheezing breaths finally stopped, Jamil stumbled to his feet. He looked down at her caved-in skull and the bloody pulp that had been her beautiful face just moments before. Jamil frantically wiped the blood from his skin and changed clothes. He dragged Aisha's body outside and shoved it into the trunk of his car. Then he sped off into the night, dumping her remains in a ravine far from their home. As the first rays of dawn broke, Jamil was on a plane bound for Guyana, leaving behind the gruesome evidence of their toxic relationship turned deadly in Barbados. As the plane headed south over the Caribbean Sea, Jamil felt no guilt over Aisha's death, convinced she deserved it for her unfaithfulness. In his next relationship, he vowed to be more vigilant, not ignoring any red flags as he had with Aisha. Jamil looked only to the future and his next tropical paradise in Guyana, where he would charm another free-spirited tourist. This time, he would try not to make the same mistakes, keeping a close watch for signs of trouble. The past was behind him now,